Muhammad V was born into the Nasrid dynasty, rulers of Granada, the last Muslim kingdom in Iberia. Surrounded by powerful Christian neighbors, the Nasrids survived through diplomacy, tribute, and cunning. Muhammad grew up in the Alhambra, a palace fortress that embodied Nasrid culture and power. His father, Sultan Yusuf I, was a patron of the arts and a skilled ruler. From childhood, Muhammad learned statecraft, negotiation, and the art of survival. He witnessed the delicate balance between appeasing Christian kings and protecting his people. The court was a place of intrigue, where loyalty was rare and power was never secure. When Yusuf was assassinated in 1354, the young Muhammad suddenly became sultan. He inherited a kingdom both dazzling and threatened, a beacon of Islamic civilization under constant pressure. Muhammad had to prove himself quickly, both to his people and to his enemies. He needed loyal supporters, a strong army, and the wisdom to know when to fight and when to negotiate. The political landscape was a chessboard, and every move mattered. Muhammad's journey as ruler had begun, and the fate of Granada would depend on his choices. He would face betrayal, exile, and triumph, but his determination would shape the destiny of his kingdom. The red walls of the Alhambra would witness his rise, fall, and ultimate legacy. In this crucible of danger and beauty, Muhammad V's story began. His reign would transform Granada forever. Muhammad V's first reign was marked by hope and ambition. He surrounded himself with wise advisors like Ibn al-Khatib and focused on strengthening Granada from within. Justice was reformed, the economy stabilized, and peace maintained with Castile's Peter the Cruel. This truce allowed trade to flourish, filling Granada's markets with goods from across the Mediterranean. The resulting prosperity funded public works and the arts, setting the stage for a cultural golden age. Muhammad began to leave his mark on the Alhambra, commissioning new decorations and minor additions. The palace became a symbol of Nasrid power and faith. Yet not everyone approved of his diplomacy. Some nobles saw peace as weakness and longed for war. Dissent simmered beneath the surface, threatening the stability he worked to build. While Muhammad built a peaceful, prosperous kingdom, enemies plotted in the shadows. His first reign, full of promise, rested on fragile foundations. The seeds of crisis were sown within the palace walls. Change was coming. In 1359, a palace coup led by Muhammad's half-brother and brother-in-law, Ismail II, shattered his rule. Forced to flee the Alhambra, Muhammad escaped with his mother and a handful of loyalists. Exiled from Granada, he sought refuge in North Africa at the Marinid court in Fez. Once a sultan, he was now a supplicant, learning humility and resilience. In Fez, he absorbed new artistic and political influences that would later shape Granada. Muhammad forged alliances, most crucially with Peter of Castile, who preferred his rule to that of the usurpers. Peter offered sanctuary and military support, showing the pragmatic politics of medieval Iberia. Exile was a time of hardship, but also of growth. Muhammad learned the true meaning of loyalty and betrayal. He honed his diplomatic skills, waiting for the right moment to return. The experience transformed him from a promising prince into a determined leader. His desire to reclaim Granada became his driving force. The next chapter of his life, and Granada's, was about to begin. In 1360, Abu Yahya Abdullah, the brother of Sultan Ismail II, killed Sultan Ismail and acceded to the throne with the title of Muhammad VI. Muhammad V's return was built on patience and alliances. His rival, Muhammad VI, ruled harshly, alienating nobles and people alike. With help from the Sultan of Morocco and with Peter of Castile's backing, Muhammad launched his campaign in 1362. The people welcomed him. The usurper fled and met his end at Peter's hands. Back in the Alhambra, Muhammad was changed, wiser, more cautious, and more ruthless. He consolidated power, rewarding loyalty and removing threats. He centralized authority, ending the era of noble conspiracies. During this period, Gibraltar was a territory of the Marinids of Morocco, but upon the death of the Marinid Sultan Abu Salim, civil war broke out among his children, allowing Muhammad V to retake Gibraltar. For many years, the Kingdom of Granada paid tribute to the Kingdom of Castile. But in 1370, the King of Castile and his brother started fighting, and Muhammad V ceased paying tribute to the Kingdom of Castile without any repercussions. This stability allowed him to focus on his true passion, transforming Granada into a cultural masterpiece. Nearly 3 decades of peace and prosperity followed. Granada became a haven for scholars, poets, and artisans. The king, who returned from exile, was ready to build his legacy. With peace secured, Muhammad V transformed the Alhambra into a wonder of the world. He envisioned a paradise on earth, blending art, architecture, and faith. The Court of the Lions became the centerpiece. Its alabaster fountain, 12 marble lions, and elegant columns a marvel of design. The palace's intricate stucco, tile mosaics, and advanced hydraulic systems showcased Nasrid craftsmanship. He commissioned the Hall of the Two Sisters and the Hall of the Abencerrages, famed for their dazzling muqarnas domes. Poetry adorned the walls, merging literature and architecture. Granada became a vibrant cultural hub, attracting artisans, poets, and scholars. The Alhambra's workshops produced exquisite ceramics, textiles, and metalwork. Muhammad's vision was about more than beauty. It was about legacy. The Alhambra became a symbol of Nasrid resilience and sophistication. Through his patronage, Muhammad ensured Granada's final chapter would be its most brilliant. Muhammad V's legacy is etched in the stones of Granada. He presided over a golden age, remembered not for conquest, but for creation. The Alhambra stands as his enduring monument, a symbol of beauty, knowledge, and faith. His diplomatic skills secured Granada's survival, forging alliances that kept enemies at bay. He proved that diplomacy could be as powerful as war. His reign allowed art, poetry, and scholarship to flourish. The court of Muhammad V became a beacon for the greatest minds of the age. The poetry on the Alhambra's walls testifies to this intellectual vibrancy. He reinforced Granada's identity as a center of Islamic civilization in the West. Today, millions marvel at the Alhambra's beauty, walking through spaces he created. Muhammad V is remembered as the Sultan who lost everything and returned to create something timeless. He transformed Granada from a vulnerable border state into an unforgettable symbol of artistic genius. His legacy endures, not in conquest, but in creation.